All right, Money. You were making a point before we got cut off by my homie Kendrick.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner shit.
Okay, yeah. So, anyways, look, they were Tebow used to run this play where they ran several variations of it, where he would fake like he was going to run the ball, then he would drop back to pass it, and that was their way of doing play action because they ran Tebow so much. I haven't seen OU use that all that much. They've used it a couple of times where he fakes like he's going to take one step and then he
It's called a pop
drops
pass.
back. Yeah, well, no, pop pass is the screen passes out to the right.
No, that's a bubble screen. A pop pass is...
No. We run pop passes. In my little league, it's literally a pop pass is a fake where the wide receiver takes a step forward and he drops back behind
That's
the line.
not a pop pass. That's a wide
It's
receiver
called a
screen.
Pop screen. You can Google it.
It's
promise.
not a... You Google it.
I don't have to. We run it. The guy that helps create and run one of the first
Brandon.
Air raids in
Brandon.
Oklahoma is our head coach.
Brandon. That's not a pop pass. You can call it a pop pass, but it's not a pop pass. That's not what I'm talking about.
Pop screen,
the play that you're talking about, the play you're talking about is called a pop pass, right? Now, cool. I get in your playbook.
No, I'm talking about pop screens, not pop passes.
Bro, the play you're talking
about we're talking about two different things here. Pop screens in football is the wide receiver takes a step forward and then goes back. Pop pass, I know what you're talking about, is the quarterback going forward. Yes, I know what we were confused on two different things.
You were saying it was the Tim Tebow play, and I said it's called a pop pass. You said no, it's not.
I went pop screen whenever I said that. That's why I said pop screen is the wide receiver. Anyway, we're teetering away from. It is called a pop pass. Pop screen is the wide receiver takes a step forward and steps back, and the fullback and everybody, the H-back goes out and blocks.
So the play run by Tim Tebow is a pop pass.
Yes, but they would go deep on it. They would do all kinds of things. OU doesn't run that, and they should with Jalen Hurts, considering they run him like 20 times a game. They should.
It's illegal. The reason that it works on the goal line is because the lineman can't get downfield. The reason that people don't run it more often in the open field is because it should get called for linemen illegally moving downfield.
No, I'm not saying I'm just calling like play action, dude. Like he acts like he takes a step forward then drops back.
Yeah, are you saying that he should jab step because do you expect him to take off and run?
No, I'm just saying jab step, like take a couple of steps forward then drop back like you're running.
I think that's all. I mean, you could just tell Jalen to do that from time to time. You don't actually have to work that in the playbook.
And that's what I'm saying. He should.
I also think this gets back to what your boy can handle and what your boy can't handle.
That could be fair.
I don't know
what he can and can't handle.
Well, I'm saying like, if you watch him, right, you'll see him go through the progressions that are routes that are going vertically, right? Stuff that's coming across his face and stuff that is going down the field. Stuff that is a lateral movement to him is him looking at Trey Sermon on flaring out and going, nah, I can run that. So when you talk about you got to call plays for him, I also think you got to just remove the option for him to run, right? Yeah. And you can't do that if you're calling pass plays for this dude because he's going to stand back there. He's going to try to find people that are open. He's not going to look for one and go, but he's going to go 1, 2, 3 and probably go, or 1, 2, 3, 4 back to 1 and go. He's not going to look at 5 or 4 in most instances, which is the back. He's just going to be like, cool, Trey Sermon, taking the linebacker with him. Cool, I'm going to dart right here. And it works, right? The problem is what you said, which is you risk getting him hurt. And I don't necessarily think that's on Riley is my point. I think that's a lot on Hurts because that's a play where Kyler would throw the flare and Baker would throw the flare and Jalen's going to take off.
No, that could be it. I mean, I don't know. It's a weird deal as far as things they have other things they can do, and I know they don't do everything, and they haven't shown every play in their playbook. I get that, and just because schematically sometimes they can't do certain plays against certain defensive schemes and all that, but there's got to be other things that I know. Well, we know with Riley, there's always going to be one or two plays we haven't seen all year, and he's going to throw them out there against Iowa State. We know that's going to happen now after the bye week. They're going to do something. People are getting mad about these trick plays. I guarantee you there's going to be a trick play.
These trick plays. But he's going to run at least one every
game. Yep.
But, you know, the thing is...
He does it because the kids like it and it's fun for him. I mean, it is.
All right, cool. I get that. But that's also what Coach Yost said to Coach Boone. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have some fun and boys going to quit on you. No, they're not. But also, I think that when it works, it's fun. When you're punting from your own 46 on 4th down, or when you had 3rd and goal, then no, it's not a good look. And when you lose 5 yards on the play because you got CeeDee Lamb back there trying to run this play, no, it's not a good look. And when you got Nick Basquin throwing a dart across his body that bounced off of Charleston Rambo's hands, it's not a good look. You're going, y'all, man, just hand the ball to the back. Or you know what, stop getting cute and just throw the ball to CD. You know, like what you doing out here? Because these are feast or famine plays, right? Because people are, it's like the NFL draft in that everybody's going to let you slide if you draft a quarterback high. If you draft a guard, if you draft a defensive tackle, if you draft a corner, if you use your pick on anything other than a quarterback, if the need is quarterback and it doesn't work, people are going to eviscerate you. Whereas if you draft quarterback, people are like, okay, cool, bust. We'll move on to the next one. And that's what these trick plays are like. It's like drafting an offensive lineman #1 overall. It just ain't going to work with people. You know, because if that dude ends up being great, cool, he ends up being great. He ends up being Joe Thomas. How many people just absolutely are on board with drafting a left tackle at #1? Not a whole lot if the need is quarterback. So I'm just saying, like, the risk reward on this is stuff that you can only do if you're 31-5 as a head coach.
I mean, that's true. You know, and I was looking at it's like, so did you see the tweet last night that I put up about Austin Kendall where he's one?
What you talk about, Brandon? I don't read your Twitter.
Huh?
What you talk about? I don't read your Twitter.
That's fine. So I put up, he's one loss away from his total amount of losses that he had at Oklahoma in 3 years in his first 8 games at West Virginia.
He's on a bad team.
I know, but that's just so
weird.
Why
did you do that to Austin?
The point of the tweet was Oklahoma fans, and I put it at the end, I said, you have it very, very good. Like when you actually sit there and think about that, think about the rest of the nation. And outside of an Ohio State, outside of a Clemson and an Alabama, Oklahoma is the only team that you can sit there and say, my God, they never lose. Like
they do.
Well, they do, except for K-State, obviously.
No, and except for every college football playoff they've ever been in.
That's fair.
I know. I mean, like, cool. Like, I'm like, I did this on the, you know, I do this, you know, I think of these things and I think these takes through and whatnot. But like, Oklahoma and Georgia are the same. They're the same.
But they're not.
But okay. Do you want to hear why they're the same before you tell me they're not?
I do. I'm interested on this take, so I'm waiting and listening.
It's been 30 years since Georgia won a national championship. It's been 20 since Oklahoma's won a national championship. Both have been picked to win national championships.
Whoa. It has been 18 years since Oklahoma.
For fuck's sake. It's been...
I'm being sarcastic. Finisher still. Okay.
Gonna have me cussing on this podcast. Both have quarterbacks that are expected to play in the NFL, period. Yep. Both are expected to be there at the end and win national championships, depending on who you want to talk to. Both lay an egg during the season to somebody. Maybe they're ranked, maybe they're not. And both end up getting beat like you stole something by Bama at some point or another. When Kirby Smart wins the national championship, that'll change. When Lincoln Riley wins the national championship, that'll change. But we had this stat floating around about these all-time coaches and what their first 3 years are like that neglects to take into account that most of these coaches took over crappy programs. They essentially were turning Honda Civics or Geo Metros into world beaters. And Lincoln Riley took over Ferrari. So he didn't have to build diddly squat. All right? He walked into a situation with a Heisman-winning quarterback, an outstanding offense that, yes, he helped build, but now he's responsible for in a very real way. I'm not ready. And the thing about Georgia is there were lots of people that picked them to come out of the SEC, especially when Dylan Moses went down. You know, it's like, cool. Georgia, this is your year. Oh, okay. You get jacked for your hedges by South Carolina. Team might finish 5-7, right? And you get jacked in Manhattan by a bunch of farmers with pitchforks in Manhattan as Oklahoma. You drop one you're not supposed to drop one to, right? And Riley had this bit that he was given by Bob Stoops, which is every loss at Oklahoma is shocking. Same thing is true at Georgia. You know how long Mark Richt could never win a game that actually mattered, but would finish with 9 and 10 wins every year? You know how bad Georgia fans were getting the SEC championship?
My God. Yes, they were insufferable.
Right. I mean, and to a degree, they're Texas now. In 2000 in the early aughts, right? That Mark Richt Georgia is Texas now. They're not awful. They're good. They're just not great. And they happen to be playing in a conference and against people that are. So, like, no. Oklahoma and Georgia deserve each other. It's one of the reasons I can't wait for this 2023 matchup, because it's going to be cool. It's like, cool. Y'all still probably both going to be really good. And it's probably going to be an outstanding football game. But neither one of you has won a national championship in this millennia. And you know what? It ain't looking like either one of them you're going to win one now. That's the take.
Yeah, right now they didn't look like either one of them are going to get in. I think Georgia is a bigger long shot than Oklahoma, obviously.
I think if they beat Florida, they're back in the hunt.
They are in the hunt, but unfortunately for them, they have to play Alabama or LSU.
And if they beat them, guess what?
They're in.
Okay.
Yeah, but then guess what? Did you see the winning percentage of Alabama's opponents? Joe Klatt put it up today. 36%.
Nah, man, I don't really mess with Joe Klatt. He won't return my phone calls.
Well, 36%. They have the worst win percentage out of any top 10 team.
Yeah, well, I don't really.
That is going to hurt them if they lose. It doesn't matter if they lose by 3. It doesn't matter if they lose by 4.
I think
they
this
lose
is
to LSU.
Garbage, though. It's a garbage stat. I'll tell you why. Who you play isn't up to you to a large degree, and it's really not up to you who you play when they're good or not. You think Texas A&M wanted the toughest schedule in college football? No. Neither did South Carolina. You know, I mean, we're talking about Texas A&M being able to boast the toughest schedule in college football with Lamar on it. You know, like, they happen to play a Bama team that was good. They happen to play an Auburn team that most people thought was good. They played a Clemson team that happened to be good. When they scheduled that game, Clemson wasn't no good. You didn't know Clemson was going to be this. You thought it was going to be little old Clemson. Same Clemson everybody else beats on. You know, you thought you were scheduling friggin' Lower Kansas. So, like, I get that people are going to make the argument that their schedule is soft, but I can make that argument all over depending on how I want to make it flex, and that's why I hate that we have to talk about it in this way.
Yeah,
like, we got to talk about what a bunch of suits.
They use it as part of the deal for the playoffs,
which is
so you have
BS.
to talk about it.
I hate this, man.
Yeah, but it's part of it. Unfortunately, it's part. I agree, but it's part of the deal, so we have to unfortunately talk about it.
Well,
it's one of the deals that could cost Alabama. Their schedule is not very good. Oklahoma has the toughest remaining schedule out of anybody in the top 10.
Oh, what? No.
That is true. No, it is 100% fact.
According to whose metrics?
I can't remember. It was the strength of schedule metrics.
Whose strength of schedule metric?
I don't remember who put it out. I just remember seeing it. ESPN even tweeted it out at one point. This is like a week or two ago.
KB.
Remember, they have Alabama. They had, at the time they had Kansas State. They had Alabama. Not Alabama. They had, Baylor. They have TCU. They have
Oklahoma State.
Which could be an 8 or 9 win team by the end of the year.
Not if Tylan Wallace is hurt. Matter of fact,
if he's hurt, no, I agree with you.
Let's talk about that after the break.